What's up? Jeremy, Guildbrook Farm. Next couple videos I'm going to be showing you how I build a platform storage bed with drawers in this rustic farmhouse style. This video is going to be all about how to build this headboard and footboard because it gives you options for the bed part. So if you want to just use rails, you can do that. If you want to do a platform storage portion underneath with drawers, you can do that, which is what we're doing. So that's why I broke it up. So I'm going to show you how I do the headboard and the footboard in this video, and we're going to get started right now. Here's the original drawing I did of the queen size bed. We're going to build these full-sized versions, basically the exact same way. The only difference is the width and length dimensions, because a queen size bed is 60 wide and I believe a full is 54 wide. But we're still going to do a 2x6 bottom rail, a 2x4 top rail, and a 2x4 top cap, 4x4 posts. We're infilling the panels with the tongue and groove planks, which I have laid out here, and we have to cut the size. And then we're just going to basically build a bookcase on its side, and we'll brace the headboard with some 2x4s so that we can bolt those bookcases on each side. And then we infill the center with some slats so that you can lay your mattress on it. Now, this is built for the Helix Sleep mattress that we use. If you have a shorter mattress, you can bring this down or bring that up, whatever you want to do. But this is built so that when you set the Helix Sleep mattress on it, it's a 14-inch tall pillow top mattress. It kind of comes up to like right there. Just adjust this however you need to for your particular situation. We're going to try and cut all the parts first, and then we'll sand and stain, pre-stain everything. That makes it a heck of a lot easier when it comes time to finish this and get it all put together. So to help us complete this farmhouse bed project, I have to thank today's video sponsor, Helix Sleep. So I think I mentioned that I'm building these beds specifically for the Helix Sleep mattresses. Once again, they've partnered with us on this project. Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your needs and conveniently shipped right to your door. I've never slept better in my life. I'll never use anything other than a Helix Sleep mattress from now on. I've been sleeping on this one for about 6 months. My back has never felt better. I've never gotten a better night's sleep. I'm more productive during the day. It's freaking amazing. I never thought a mattress could be so good, because I always slept on crappy mattresses, I guess. It doesn't matter if you sleep on your back or your side or your stomach, or your partner sleeps differently than you. Go to helixsleep.com, fill out the little questionnaire about all that stuff, and they'll build you your mattress. It's super easy to order online, takes 5 minutes, comes to you, shipped in a box, rolled up right to your door. They ship it for free. You get a 100-night trial to literally sleep on your decision, and if you decide you don't like it, then they'll come and pick it up and take it away. This is the Midnight Luxe mattress. It's a little bit of a firmer mattress. I'm personally a back and side sleeper, so the Helix Midnight Luxe mattress was the perfect match for me. The ones we will use on the full-size beds that I'm building now are the Sunset Luxe mattress. They're a little bit of a softer mattress, but it's whatever you want. And you can personalize your mattress even more by adding their Glaciotex cooling cover, which is a great way to keep cool during the hot summer months. So, 100-night sleep trial, 10-year warranty, free shipping, and if you use our link, helixsleep.com/Guildbrook, you'll get $200 off and 2 free dream pillows like this. The pillows are amazing. Get yourself a Helix Sleep mattress. You will not regret it. All right, here are the 4x4 posts we're going to use. They're 8 foot long, and you just cut them at 5 feet, and that leaves a 3-foot piece for the footboard, 5-foot piece for the headboard, and you have no waste. So if you're building one bed, you need 2 4x4 8-foot long posts. These are not pressure treated. I went to the lumber mill and had them actually make them for me, because it's kind of hard to find not pressure treated 4x4s around here. I don't know why. Anyway, just make these cuts on the chop saw and we'll be good to go. Like most dimensional lumber straight from the store, it is never exact. So they leave you a little bit of fat on the end, so you can trim the ends and make them flush. And it also helps account for the width of your saw blade. So just don't go putting stuff together straight out of the store. Always cut your pieces and make sure you have cut ends on each end. Now this is a 100 tooth blade. I'd prefer actually to have a 120 tooth blade, but you want a blade that makes a real fine cut because we're doing fine work. This is not a chop saw blade, so we have a nice pretty much almost sanded finish here on the end. But that's what you want to start with, because now we know it's square. Recently been using a 3-foot T-square for measuring and marking, because it saves me a step of having to run a tape, make a mark, put a square. This just, boom, 36. We're making a 36-inch cut there. So here you can see this is the rough end that came from the mill. And that's the flush cut smooth end that we cut with the saw. And that's the waist. Perfect. So here are the 4 3-foot long posts for the footboard. As you can tell, this is #1 Southern Yellow Pine, which is heavy, dense, very good for construction. And makes nice furniture if you're making rustic stuff. But a #1 Southern Yellow Pine, I mean, this is a whole tree. The center of the tree. Just a note also, I always look and see if there are any imperfections like this. It's kind of rough right here. It's got some chipping and crunchy junk, which won't really come out with the sander. So mark this side will be up and this will be the inside where the box bolts to, and you'll never see it. But we still have to sand these and dress them up, because you have things like, you know, these edges are pretty sharp. So we're going to sand everything, round it all over, get it all ready. Now I'm going to work on the tongue and groove infill panel. Now you can use regular plywood as your panel. You can then cut 1x2 strips to make it look like board and batten. There's a lot of options you can use depending on your decorative tastes. I'm going to use tongue and groove because it makes a nice panel, and I have the material. All this scrap junk that got cut off when we were doing the ceiling now becomes 17-inch long pieces. Real easy. So I'm building 2 beds, and each panel needs 10 lengths of this tongue and groove. So each headboard needs 10, footboard needs, I need to make 40 pieces that are 17 inches long. So when you have a job like that, definitely helps if you have a saw stop on your chop saw. And I've got it set at 17 there. Here's 40 pieces, enough planks to make the panels for 2 beds, headboard and footboard. Now I gotta cut some 2x4s. In fact, we have to cut a lot of 2x4s. You're going to need about 8 2x4s for each bed. For the full-size bed, I need 50-inch long pieces, 8 of them per bed. This has got a good wonky bow in it, which is why we never used it for whatever. It was probably going to be a window buck or some sort of piece of framing, but it's got a really bad wave and bow in it like that. It's actually pretty straight this way. So I'm going to set up a sort of a guide and see if I can just use the table saw basically as a jointer and make a straight rip so we can get a 2x6 out of this that's in nice shape. So first I want to get a straight edge to reference from. And I'm going to use this 2x4 because it is just about as straight as I can get. It's definitely straighter than this board underneath. So I'm going to square this up, screw it into this board, and we're going to use this against the fence of the table saw. And that'll make a straight cut here. And then we can take this off, flip it around, and use the straight cut against the fence to cut the other side, and you have a straight board. Okay, fast forward about 2 or 3 days actually. I went ahead and did my least favorite part first, and that is finish work, because it takes so long and it's so tedious. But I stained everything, sanded everything, polyurethaned everything 3 times, and so all the parts are finished. And it makes it a lot easier to put it together, and then you're just done. So rather than try and stain when you have all the parts put together and fitting into the little nooks and crannies with your stain rag, and then trying to get poly on there without it dripping. Do all the parts first. It takes a long time, but it doesn't take nearly as much time or hassle than if you do it once it's all put together. So I learned that on the first bed that I built. So now we're going to build 2 full-size beds using all these parts. Yeehaw. That's the way that'll be fastened there, and we will do that with pocket hole screws, 2 each on each side, just like that. I mean, you've seen me do it a lot, but it makes a perfectly solid joint. It's the perfect angle so it doesn't poke through your other piece of material, and there's plenty of screw to fasten a piece of 1x to another piece of 1x. That is 1 and about 3/16. It's perfect. Nailers and top and bottom rail, and the pocket holes are drilled. Next we have to route a 3/4 inch dado down the center of the top and bottom rail so that we can fit our tongue and groove panels into there, which will like stack like that. So I'm going to make a 3/4 inch dado that is about 1/4 inch deep, just enough to hold those panels. And that is 1/8 inch up off the deck, so I can make 2 passes. I'm going to do 1/8 inch and then increase it to 1/4 inch and then make the second pass. It's easier to do it that way. It keeps your bit from getting too hot, burning anything up. It's just easier to do it in multiple passes than try and take a big chunk out at once. There we have perfect 3/4 inch dados down the length of our rails. 2.5 inch GRK construction screws because we don't want these to ever come apart. So this is the one that matters. The bottom one is just a spacer. So you want this to be flush with this because your platform is going to bolt onto the whole assembly that way. This one is next. Now it's got to have a 4 inch space from there to there. All right, so hopefully this is starting to make a little bit of sense. This is the inside of the bed. This is the nailers to which you fasten the box. This is your 4 inch toe kick. Mattress sits on top of the box here, and then you'll have, well, the mattress is pretty big. You'll have about a 4 inch space from the top of the mattress to the top of here, and then we're going to do our infill panel right here. Since this is a 50 inch inside to inside measurement, these tongue and groove panels without the tongue on it is a 5 inch panel. So you just stack these in here, cut off the tongue on the last one, and it fits perfectly. And you don't have any weird looking shapes. So I'm going to take one of these and just cut this tongue right off. Footboards are finished. Now for the headboards. Well, that wasn't too bad, so we're going to move on to the headboards, and these are the posts for each headboard. These are the 5-footers. Same deal, I'm going to lay these down. So after having done this about 4 times now, that is building headboards and footboards, kind of come up with a way that's easiest for me to do this assembly process. And that is, take your posts and assume that the finished side is facing the floor, the finished side being the side that would face the mattress, and the side that's facing up would be the side that kind of goes against your wall. Take your post, take the nicest side facing down. Imagine, if you have any imperfections or junk that you don't really want to see, put it on the back, facing up. Take a 1/2 inch plywood spacer that we will use to create our offset of the panel from the post. This is the top, and we're going to work top down, as opposed to with the footboard we worked bottom up. So top down here, panel will be about yay right here, mattress will be here, and our support nailers will be here where you don't see them. So spacers, a couple more here. Cool. Now, top rail, bottom rail, infill panels, top cap, nailer. One of the things I'm doing is first squaring this all up before I do any fastening, and I'm using this perfectly flat concrete surface and this expansion joint as a reference mark, and I'm just measuring from there to there, making sure that measurement is the same on both sides, making sure that I have my 50-inch inside to inside measurement, which there's a little bit of a bow in this board, so it may not be perfect, but it's going to be close. Definitely have to have the 50-inch inside to inside. And then make sure your diagonals are equal. That's 82 7/8. And that is 82 and about 3/4. So it's an 1/8, which is okay because, like I said, it's wood and there's a little bit of a bow, but as long as you're not off by like 1/2 inch, you're okay. And butt these up together. This is pressed down onto the 1/2 inch spacer, and we can fasten those together. I'm going to clamp them so that everything stays while I'm screwing it together. Again, you can use pocket hole screws that are made just for pocket holes, or you can use construction screws. I'm using these GRK R4 number 9 2.5 inch construction screws because they're basically the best. This will never come apart. Easiest way to do this panel is to set this thing upright, put your panels in, make sure they're all seated. Make sure you have no gaps. Looks good. And then do your top rail. Which takes a little finesse, but it's doable. I tried doing this laying down. I've tried it all different ways. This is the easiest. And then you just kind of wiggle it into this dado. Money. Okay, last step of the headboard is to do our nailers. Again, this thing is face down. This is the bottom, so these need to be flush with the floor. Kind of like this. And let's see, we were 14 7/8 from the bottom of the post to the top of this rail there. And 4 inches from the bottom of that post to the bottom of this board. That's the height of your platform, which can be anything you want. Mine is, again, based on the size of the drawer fronts that I'm using, which is a 1x10 piece of board. If you have a 1x12 board and you want deeper drawers, make it wider or taller. And let's see, we're gonna clamp it again just to hold everything. These are the best, these are the best investment I made as far as cheap labor for a helper. Second set of hands, especially if you work by yourself a lot. I mean, at the time they were 30 bucks and I was like, I don't want to pay $30 for a clamp, but cheap labor. All right, that weighs about 50 pounds. If you are putting this in a room where you're going to see the back, you know, just stain that side as well. I'm going to do the top cap here. And then we'll be finished. Top cap's finished, then that's how you do a headboard and a footboard for our farmhouse style platform storage bed with drawers. Next video we are going to build the actual platform storage portion with the drawers. But if you want to just do a regular set of bed rails, you can do that. This is just the headboard footboard part because it gives you lots of options. That's why I broke this up into 2 videos. So if you want to just do this part, do this part. If you want to build the entire bed the way I'm doing it with a storage platform underneath, then stay tuned for the next video because that's what we're going to be doing next. Take it easy.